Welcome to Star Fox. We are doing level 3 in this part. And I'm just going to say, level 3 here, you won't really see it too much because I did some heavy editing for this playthrough. But level 3 was probably single-handedly the hardest thing that I've had to record for this channel. I don't even think it's close. Like, I haven't played too many hard games. This easily takes the cake. This is like, this is even harder than like a Mega Man game on your first playthrough type of stuff. Like this is just straight up challenging, and it's half because of the performance of the game, and half because of how much stuff they throw at you.
I think the hardest thing I recorded was Metroid, I want to say.
That would make sense.
Maybe Doom 2016 on Nightmare, but I don't know. I feel like that was...
I would say Dark Souls, but you didn't play half of that game.
I mean, I played bigger chunks than you realize, but...
Bigger chunks, but still probably less than half of the game.
Maybe.
Ow. Ow. I'm already playing badly.
But then again, it's also hard for me to judge because I feel like the most difficult stuff isn't the stuff that's necessarily technically the most difficult. I feel like it's the stuff that I just beat my head at the most.
Mm-hmm.
But that can also be synonymous with like tedious, which I wouldn't put as like the hardest.
Yeah, when
So
I
like
say
Doom 2016 was like I guess a bit more tedious because of that, but I was also having fun the whole time. Versus like something like Drakengard, which is just tedious and not fun.
Like when I say this was the hardest thing that I've had to record, I had a ton of fun recording this game for the channel. So, you know, there is a good. I was about to say a good few people, but no, most gamers don't actually like to play hard games. As much as they say, well, the game's too easy, blah 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 blah. You know, they complain about certain games. But then like a game will be really hard and it'll be brutal, but still a fair challenge, and they'll just call it BS after they die a few times and then give up. And
to me, what it should be better defined as is how free and open a game is for you to do different things to beat it. Because like Dark Souls, you have to play it a certain way to ever get anywhere. Even though you have multiple playstyles, there's still like some general things you're gonna have to learn how to do to even beat the game. You know.
Well, yeah,
no
the
matter
game
what playstyle you play.
the game has a gameplay. The game has its specific gameplay, and it asks you to learn how to use it.
Yeah. Versus like when I was playing COD earlier, where the specific gameplay it wants you to do is hide behind cover, aim your shots carefully, you know, don't run into the open and such. Yeah. And if you play it on like even normal difficulty, you can easily ignore those rules and brute force your way through the game.
And you were talking about Doom, the new Doom games earlier. I would say those are a great example of hard games, but still very fair because they give you all the tools that you need. They just ask you to learn how to use them, you know?
Yeah. And they have some very generous difficulty options.
Yeah. Well, even just
around that for how tight, just all it really determines, at least in 2016 and Eternal, is how tight do you want the game to hold you in.
Yeah. I would say, even disregarding the different difficulty options, it's like Doom Eternal is probably the hardest game I've ever played, I want to say. And I didn't feel like I was getting cheesed whatsoever. I felt like every death was my fault for not playing well enough, you know? And that's what I want out of a hard game, is something that feels like it is hard because I'm just not good enough at it yet, and it encourages me to get better.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like this game is.
That's what I love about like fighting games as well, you know? It hits all of that.
Yeah. like the same thing, except your skill issue is against other players rather than the game design itself.
Yeah.
The
As
other
long as you
players
can
are
recognize
just
that, you can get better.
yeah. The other players are just better at the game's design than you are, so you gotta step up.
Yeah. Now, all that being said, I would be terrible at this sort of game design, and this game would probably break me.
Well, this game, like, I think it's challenging but fair. I will say it's a little bit unfair just because of how varied the performance is. And
varied performance, and there's just a lot of things on screen at once.
Yeah, it can be a little overwhelming.
And I'd probably say the same thing even on like 64 and 0, the newer ones.
I wouldn't include 64 in this because 64 is I would say an incredibly agreeable game. It's very easy.
Agreeable.
Like
that's a new one.
As far as arcadey styled on rail shooters go, Star Fox 64 is like by far one of the easiest ones I've ever played. And I think that's why it's so popular, because everyone can play it, you know, and they don't have to put too much effort into it. It's like Sonic fans, or like people that don't usually play Sonic. When they pick up a Sonic game, they expect it to be just fast all the time, with no skill required, and that's what they get because that's what Sonic Team makes nowadays.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's now the case for Star Fox as well.
For, like the first like couple levels where like you only need skill if you want to do well at them. That's why I like Sonic Unleashed so much, because you know you get to like Adabat and Shamar, and it's like, no, you better actually know how to play this game, or you're gonna keep on dying. It's a nice skill difficulty curve.
Mm-hmm.
Which I like.
It is so funny to me though that Star Fox is going through what Sonic has gone through for the last 35 years. But it's taking way longer for Star Fox because they don't release a game every year.
Did we count the different release? Actually, no. Sonic 1 probably has been remade as many times as
not
Star
remade,
Fox
but
64
re-released.
Has. Well, Genesis port, the Taxman ports, Origins, because that changes so much, it might as well be its own version, you know?
Well, that's just a port of the Taxman version, though.
Yeah, and it changes so much, it might as well be its own version.
It doesn't. It has the drop dash.
And all of the bugs.
It's still the same. It's just a worse... Would you call the PC port of Sonic Adventure DX a different remake of Sonic Adventure?
Yeah. By my logic right now, yes. Because they keep getting worse. They keep making them. They keep getting worse.
Yeah. That's why I don't think there's there's actually not been that many re-releases from games from the Dreamcast, GameCube era. Like, it feels like there's been a lot, but it's really just like the big ones that released at the time that have been re-released. I mean, like
if you think about it, it's like that for every era. Like, you know how many games are out there on the NES, SNES, 64 and such that have never been touched or seen the light of day.
That is true to an extent. I feel like it's worse for that specific generation though, because that specific generation had to use so many extra tricks to get the games to look as good as they do and run well.
Yeah.
And like at that time, like 3D development was still kind of new, so everything is like frame dependent, and it's like I've been replaying Resident Evil 4 again, and Resident Evil 4 has been re-released so many times, and every new re-release has its own problems because that game originally runs at 30 FPS, and that's the intended frame rate for the game, so everything breaks if you go beyond it. So, you know. It's
yeah.
I feel like that's a particular problem for that generation more than anything. But
I will say though, Microsoft's had a really valiant effort back on the Xbox 360 with that kind of stuff, where they didn't have that great of an emulator on there, but a pretty good chunk of the Xbox library was playable on 360 if you had the disc.
Yeah. Also, not
and I
even
mean,
close.
even on PS3, like the entire PS1 library is available on there if you have the disc. Just not PS2 unless you have the big boy.
Right.
And I would say Microsoft to this day is still probably the leading example of being really good at re-releases, especially because they're bringing back the 360 re-releases. So that's pretty cool. And here's hoping that even though the 360 store got shut down, that if you buy them on Xbox One and Series X, it'll still be available for download on your 360. Because I noticed they still let you do that right now with current games released.
We'll see. I don't know. Maybe.
Like if you go buy Dead Space, which if you buy it on Xbox is going to be the 360 version. If you buy it on Xbox One, I believe, yeah, you can go and download it on your 360. Which is really nice.
Real quick, back on the game for a second. I really like this level. It's this is like the overgrown planet full of like enemy bioweapons that I was talking about. I believe this is Fortuna. I don't actually. I can't keep track of the planet names because I feel like they change between like this and Star Fox 64 and. Even though it's the same games and like the planets are very similar, I feel like sometimes that they change the names.
I like the music here.
Yeah, the music here is funky.
Yeah. It's not the music I would be expecting for this kind of game. I feel like this game, I expected this game to have like a Mega Man X style soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean it kind of does for most of it. Like Corneria feels very Mega Man X.
Yeah. This is, if you slowed it down a bit, this is almost something you'd hear in Super Metroid.
Yeah.
Or an RPG.
This is definitely like a cut Brinstar theme.
Cut Brinstar theme, cut town theme in Final Fantasy VI.
Apparently, in the original release of this, these bird enemies, because how they die, they just drop straight into the water. They caused a bug for getting 100% completion on this level, and it made it impossible to actually get 100% completion in the original version of this game.
Huh.
And they released like revision cartridges later on.
You know what? That is one thing I will be forever thankful for updates on, is that you don't need a revision of a game in revision releases. But at the same time, it is kind of cool that you can buy different versions of a game. You know, sometimes you just want to play Twilight Princess, and you want to, you feel comforted knowing that the game could just break if you save at a certain point.
Do you want the completely busted version of oh my god, what is happening? I was taking so many hits from that Hydra and I had the shield. So it just tanked the frame rate.
Yeah,
but do you want the completely busted version of Metroid Prime that all the speedrunners use? Or do you want every other release that makes the game lamer?
Mario 64.
True, Mario 64 as well.
FF7, do you want the fun translation that has a ton of misspellings, grammatical errors, as well as some early internet language that's probably not appropriate anymore? Or do you just want a more accurate translation, except for Aerith? Aerith is never accurately translated. The original FF7 translation is a treat, but I also feel bad reading it and making fun of it.
Why do you feel bad?
Because the translator had to do it all, like an entire RPG in like a week.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I feel bad making fun of him. But at the same time, some of it's really funny. Like, Cloud, this guy are sick.
You know what I feel that way every time people say Sonic Extreme didn't look good. That poor developer that almost died.
Yeah, but at the same time, looking at what we got, all the little we do have, all I can say is, wow, it's not look very good. I'll feel bad about it though.
Real quick on the game, real quick. This boss is hilarious. It's basically a big dragon, but it makes me think of a chicken.
I know that's what I was gonna say. It's like a giant chicken.
It's a giant two-headed chicken. And
It reminds me of the giant piranha plant you fight in Good Egg Galaxy.
yeah, true. They bring that dragon back in Star Fox Zero with the modern Star Fox 64 styled but HD visuals that game has, and like it looks about how you'd expect, but I kind of like it in this game because he moves around so funny and he's just so stupid. But the one in Zero, he's just like constantly flying around and like causing tornadoes and stuff, and he looks a lot more robotic. So like you don't get to see him run around and be stupid as much. But you do get in that game Slippy being racist to Falco, so that's pretty funny. Because he's like, Falco, can't you talk some sense into this guy? And Falco's like, what? Because he's a bird? Suddenly we're buddies?
Hey, everybody hates Flippy already. Might as well give him more fuel.
Nah, that'll make people think Slippy's based and red-pilled.
You're not wrong.
This level. Oh my god, this level. This fucking level is so hard. This is basically just a bunch of trash floating in space. And it is flying. It's like, these ones are clear. They're see-through. So like when there's a lot of them on screen, it's kind of freaking hard to tell.
I mean, so far you're doing pretty well, but I don't know how many edits
this
you
is
did.
probably like my 10th attempt at this level.
Yeah, you know what? I can tell because you are just laser focused on the path.
Yeah, I have found my path through this level, and I am sticking to it.
Oh my goodness.
Like, I remember where Peppy is getting fired at, and I remember to use the bomb right here to clear the enemies to make this section a little easier. And Peppy is just in the way here if you save him, by the way. And it's really hard to hit those guys in the middle to get the 100%. And I was getting really annoyed.
What happens if you don't save him?
He'll eventually, like, retire. He'll be like, I have to go back to the ship to get repaired. And then you won't get the extra 5% bonus for keeping him alive at the end. So it is worth it to keep your teammates alive if you're going for 100%.
I feel like I'm watching a speedrunner.
Dude, I am.
You are so locked in. My goodness.
Okay, this part. This is the part. This is the fucking part right here.
Oh no.
You need to get that shield earlier. I don't know how to avoid this. I just take it. Slippy's taking shots. I somehow saved him. I didn't even see the enemy.
You created the most perfect path in this level, so you can just tank everything there and live.
And you know what the worst part about that section was? Like, if you fly through the middle and you manage to, like, weave through everything, no enemies spawn. But if you decide to veer off to the left or right, because it's a little safer from the obstacles, then enemies will spawn and start shooting at you. Oh. And I am going in here with basically no health. And this boss,
break me.
this boss also is a complete bastard, is all I can say. We've seen this boss before. It's like the enemy ship core, like the destroying the Death Star kind of thing. But on this one in particular, well, yeah, you get a lot of health if you kill the enemies, but like this one in particular, Not only is this flight section just a little bit harder to maneuver through, the boss itself, the switches you need to shoot on the wall or whatever, if you accidentally shoot them again, they'll reactivate. And that'll take away your chance to shoot the boss in the middle. So right now I've opened it. If I were to keep shooting at the left wall, he would like close back up, and it's really annoying. This boss took me so many tries. The amount of times I barely scraped by getting through the level just to make it to the boss and die, so I had to redo it.
I think to be clear, actual levels in Lego Star Wars that are literally just that, what you just did.
Yeah, there are. What was I gonna say? To be clear, this game does have lives and checkpoints, so if you die, you can go back to the checkpoint. But if you do that, you lose your power-ups and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to do that, so what I did was I did like just to keep the playthrough going smoothly for the recording, for like the final cut of the footage, I did a save state right at the beginning of each level and like cut to the successful attempt of the level. So I had to replay that full stage like 10 to 15 times, and it like mastering it felt good, but at the same time I've never been more frustrated at a level in a Star Fox game. So